Welcome, everybody, to the Between Two Wheels podcast. Between Two Wheels, yeah, that's what it is. This is Tyler Yonke. We're on stage 6, Tarbes to Cauterets-Cambasque, 144.9 kilometers. Yesterday, look, we had excitement yesterday, even more excitement today. It's only 6 stages in, and we are going crazy in the Tour de France. We're going to talk about it coming up. Hang on.
Massive number of people have been upgrading. Yes,
there you go. You see the graceful ring that you were talking about before.
The race we've got yet again, and a victor then goes victory to an American, Andy Hampton.
The felt to go by. He looks at the Colombian rider. How are you doing?
Straight past Santiago Botero, and he's coming up to Pantani.
Armstrong is sitting in the last few hundred meters as we come towards the finish of this monumental stage. And Armstrong,
as we start to approach the line now, Pantani grits his teeth and accelerates and over the line.
Is going now to win stage number 15. Sepp Kuss, an emotional finish from Durango in the USA. Sepp Kuss wins.
We're back, stage 6. Like I said, Tarbes to Cauterets-Cambasque. Well, let's put up on the screen. Let's remind everybody and welcome everybody. Between Two Wheels podcast. Tyler Yonke. Hope you had a good day. I had quite the day. One so frustrating and mind blowing that I wish I was getting destroyed on a bike instead. But instead, I was on a job. So here's the results going into. Oh, that's easy there, people. Okay, going into today's stage. We have Jai Hindley in the, remember, this is going into the stage. This is after stage 5. Jai Hindley does quite the, what do you call it? I don't know. He had the whole situation. He went out and fooled everybody. He said it was a surprise. He gets the win. He gets the yellow jersey. I said, hey, I think he can hold this for a day. If the riders didn't attack over this middle stage HC category climb, and we're going to see about that. So Jai Hindley, 47 seconds over Jonas, over a minute 3 over Giulio Ciccone. Emmanuel Bachmann's in 4th with a 1:11. Adam Yates 1:34. Pogacar 1:40. Simon Yates 1:40. Skilmos 1:56. Carlos Rodriguez same with Gaudu. David Michael Woods at 11th place 2:15. So 1:40 for Pogacar, move out 47 seconds. So approximately a minute, just 93 or 53 seconds or so between Pogacar and Vingegaard, and there you go. So let's take a look. You've got Gall in the lead, 28 points over Nilsson Palace down there at 18 for Jai. Giulio Ciccone is actually in second at 19 points. The points jersey, Jasper Philipsen with 150. He's going to hold on to that over Cockard. Anyway, so that's where we have it. And with that in mind, let's go right to the highlights for today, and take a look at. Let's see if we got this here. There we go. Okay, so going to be a big day in the mountains. They'll show it here on this highlights. We'll go over all. There's you go. Felix Gall. He gets to ride up to the front. And there's the stage. Aspan. Oh, come on, I want to see that. There we go. There's the climbs. The Cauterets-Cambasque. This is the Cat 3 that they go over. Then there's a sprint at Sarcolone, the Aspan, which is a pretty famous one, Cat 1, and then the HC Col du Tourmalet. They drop down, and then they finish up on this last climb here, which is not too difficult, but with all this miles in your legs. And the Col du Tourmalet is going to be a big one. So what did I say 2 days ago? Hey, maybe you'll get Nilsson Palace getting up in a break. He only has to race to the Col du Tourmalet, and before he only had to race yesterday to the HC category climb. He didn't get in there yesterday. He does get in there today. And then what was my predictions? I said Could be a breakaway, but I really see Jonas and Jumbo wanting a stage win. And since they want a stage win so bad, they haven't got one yet. They're looking to kind of close things out here and get one for the day. And we'll talk about it, but that's kind of what looks like what's happening. Right from the drop of the kilometer zero there, already there's Alaphilippe and Wout. They've got a Uno X rider, a Bahrain rider, and a few other ones here, but they do end up forming the break. And they go up the road, but in the break themselves, and so you had the Bora team on the front. Jai Hindley, he looks to like he thinks he can control it. We saw the stage profile. He's got to get over it, and you go. And I said this yesterday. I said you might see Pogacar really attacking in the middle stage over that HC if he really wants to get away. That is something he can do. I don't know that it's more of a desperation move. Maybe it comes later on the tour. I saw the way he raced a few days before, and especially yesterday, where doing movements he didn't need to, wasting energy. What's going to happen coming into today? Jai Hindley's team looks to get on the front. They do so, but up front in the break is Wout van Aert. And you're like, oh, and I actually heard them say this on GCN. They were debating whether there was a rift in the in the team because he was up the road. I don't know how to tell you that that's not the case. Wout's not a guy to go this brazen against team orders. Subtle things against team orders are one thing. But being a brazen against the team orders, that's a different, and that's not what he was up there for. Everyone knew that from the start, except for some of them on GCN, that Wout is up the road simply, just like the idea was, watch what he did yesterday. He was up the road, he goes over the top of the climb, and they're trying to, was he up there yesterday? No, yeah, he was, but he didn't get over there. He didn't get a help too much, just a little bit on the climb. Today, they want to get him up and over the Tourmalet, and then meet him on the down, pull him up for the end. And is that a wise strategy? I don't know. Anyway, the breaks get up the road. They're 3:16. They get up to like 4 minutes. Jumbo gets on the front. 80 kilometers to go here. Nilsen Palace gets over the top of the Aspin to get some points jerseys for the mountain, King of the Mountains. So he moves up to like 38 points. So he's got at least 10 seconds or so in that break. Welcome everybody. Victor says, I see Tyler Yonke. Yes, you do. Good to have you here tonight. And Brian, NVDP was in that break was stupid. He helped Wout get further into the stage though. I agree. Because there's a difference in climbing. I mean, look what Wout did on the Tourmalet and even the last climb, the Cauterets or whatever that is, Cambasque, and he was drilling it and going deep. Okay. MVDP is not, Matteo Van der Poel is not that kind of rider. So I agree with you. And I don't know if there was a purpose for him to be up there or not. But we have Nilsen Palace. He gets to reclaim his King of the Mountain stuff. Look good. But he also had his teammate Shaw up the road. He looked pretty good. You had Ruben Guerrero up there. It was look at that. Gorgeous riding over there in the Tourmalet. So at one point, Jumbo starts to get on the front with Kelderman. They have Kelderman, they have Kuss, and they have Vinigo. Okay. And when they start to take off, 50 kilometers to go, they're up the Tourmalet at this point, it immediately starts to shred the back. You can see here, Tade is on Vindigo's wheel, actually, and then right next to him is Jai Hindley, and then there's a gap. Already the UAE team riders are getting spit out the back. We just are seeing here that you're also getting Ben O'Connor for AG2R, spit out the back. And Jai Hindley does his best to hang on. And you also there's the UAE riders, there's the Ineos riders getting kicked out. You remember yesterday we saw Pidcock kind of making a resurgence, trying to get back up in there. It's a little bit difficult for him to do. And Jai Hindley was up there momentarily and then could not hold on. And this was, I don't know if it's shocking. He is the third best rider. He was off in the break yesterday. There's a lot of energy spent, so I can see where it's difficult. And when this pace got set here pretty high by Kelderman, and then really the screws turned on by American Sepp Kuss, I understand why he wasn't able to really hold on the way he had hoped. And I kind of had hoped for him to do so as well. But Jumbo had a mission here. Okay, so Jai Hindley gets spit out. Now it's up to Sepp Kuss. He's got 232 over that's the front group over the yellow jersey. Hindley, I'm sorry, 245 to Hindley from this group. So they're just a few seconds off here, but they go up there and they immediately distance him like it's nobody's business. Then Jonas decides to attack. What I thought was most interesting about this, and I didn't talk to him, but they interviewed Wout, Sepp Kuss afterwards, and a few other riders that I heard. The plan was completely that Jonas was going to go over the top solo. That's what they said. That's what Sup said. Solo, meet up with Wout over the top of the climb on the downhill, on the flat before, and then Wout was going to carry him up to the finish and then launch him out there. What was so interesting about this move that we saw here was, if you watch, and you can't really see it with this highlight here because it's real short and I'm not going to play it, no problems at all for Tadej to connect with him. It was literally spinning his wheels, and you could just immediately see that there was no gap here. Super easy for him to hang on to his wheels. They go through this crap at the top. Guerrero and the Uno X guy, they do a little bargy, and I think Guerrero gets relegated on this one. I thought it was just a racing incident. At this point, the tour needs to just stop trying to freak out about this stuff. It's what it is. This guy still got the points. Guerrero was there. I mean, I don't think it was he meant to. He was probably cross-eyed at the time. So I don't know. It just seems kind of stupid. This guy, the Uno X guy, and I'll look at to see who it is. He was able to flick him off with his elbow, protest with his arm, and still win. So at that point, just give him some extra points. You don't need to relegate the other guy. So they come down the other side. Jonas is doing everything he can. Wout's sitting up, and Pogačar looks fine. He's just kind of chilling. And the front group, Nilsson Palace went over the top, just barely in front of Jonas and Pogačar. They kind of go distance him, and then he decides, I might as well ride here with him. So he jumps onto those guys and gets a free ride to the last bit of the climb. Perfectly fine. He does come off quite soon. And then Jonas, this is another one. Jonas puts in this attack when Wout comes off. And do I risk showing a little bit? Look at that. Look, he's full out of the thing pedaling. And look how easy it is for Pogačar. That, to me, we'll just do that little clip there again, because I think it's really informative as what you can see. Jonas peels off, attacks. Okay, I mean, he's out of the saddle sprinting, and look how easy it is for Pogačar, where yesterday it was an immediate distancing. This is when I saw this today. I go, ooh, we're in for maybe a little different treat today. Okay, Wout got stood up, and then you got a major attack by by Pogačar. 2.8 to go. Just shortly after he had gone back, he has Jonas, I don't know what you're doing. You have no clue that he's coming. And then you didn't even see him here when he's beside you. Oh, look at him. And he jumps up to go with him. Nothing. Can't at all match the strength of Pogačar. 2.7 to go. And Pogačar immediately gets 7 seconds. Then he gets 12. And in the last little bit, Wout trying to regain himself, almost 30 seconds with the bonus time here at the finish. There's Pogačar. There is Vingegaard coming across the line. 23 seconds. I think there was 10, 8, and 4 or something like 10, 6, and 4. So he got another few seconds there. It's almost 30 seconds in 2.8 kilometers. And remember, yesterday he put a minute on Tadej in 20, 30 kilometers, a lot of it downhill and additional stuff. But it was impressive up the top of the climb. I think he put a minute on him in the climb. So once again, I'm loving the back and forth here, but these guys banging against each other and having quite the heyday. Who came across third? I don't remember. We'll take a look at the finals here. Oh, it's the Uno X rider comes across 124 down. So, he really didn't lose all that much to them. Jai Hindley does lose the yellow jersey. Remember, he only had 47 seconds to play, and he loses 2:38. So he's just a little bit under 2 minutes to go. But Rodriguez came across along with Simon Yates. And then the rest. And those guys hugged it out. It was he did a bow at the end, Tadej. And there's their finish. Pogačar, 24 seconds over Vingegaard. T.H. Johannesson of Uno X got 122 back. Guerrero, 206. Shaw of EF gets 215. Jai Hindley, 239 at 6th place. Carlos Rodriguez gets 239. 339 for Yates. Then Adam Yates at 311. Roman Bardet. Roman who? Roman Bardet. I think Genjo's strategy was a worthy gamble. This is what Brian says. If Pog's form was off, they could have taken a huge lead and then ride defensive for 2 weeks. It didn't work out, but still a good gamble. So there's a few things to say about that. One, you're not completely wrong. I think you're right. It's somewhat of a good gamble, especially after what happened yesterday. But with that in mind, in the way that the things were going, it's still Tadej. It's not, you're not, it's fine if you want to get rid of Jai Hindley. So they rode on the front all day. They tried to attack over the Tourmalet, and Tade was too easily, like I said, he was almost like tethered to Jonas there. It wasn't even an effort for him. There was never a chance of a gap, and it reminded me of the other. Then you've got the whole team's on the front, and then Jonas is on the, remember, Jonas attacks there, and then drags him all the way to the top of the climb, and then has this guy attacks again, Wout, starts to drag him till 2.3 or so to go. And that's when Tade, who had just been sitting on all day, says, fine, then I'll go. I was a little bit shocked that Vingegaard didn't have that. I actually expected, once that gap opened to like 7 seconds or so, because I think Tade has a much better kick. I expected Jonas to actually pull him back because the way they rode yesterday, but it didn't. So in the end, I don't know. Yeah, it's a gamble. I like what Jumbo was doing. There's also a few little problems with it, which is you don't, if you're riding that much stronger, look, I'll put it both ways out here, which is if you're riding that strong, do you really need to be doing that? You put them on the defensive. They've got to do the attack. I said yesterday, if you're desperate more, you see Jonas or Tade doing the kind of attack from on the Tourmalet. But then again, right, you don't want Tade to get a chance to start taking time back on you. And if that's the case and you have him down, you put him out. You put him out of his misery. You don't get this wild animal a chance to come back and hurt you in a later date. So I totally get it all. I don't necessarily think it was a bad strategy. Matter of fact, I'm as a cycling fan, I'm liking it a little bit. So I don't really have much of a problem there with that. But I also think that the race is long. This is 6 stages in. If Tade's going bad, he's probably going to keep going bad, and that didn't happen. So Vingegaard goes down the lead by 25 seconds. So he loses, as we saw, almost 30 seconds to Vingegaard there. To Pogačar, and Hindley coming in third, a decisive third at 134. And then Yates, 314, 330 to Rodriguez, who's really coming up. Sepp Kuss moves up to 10th place at 528. Sepp did another good job of just riding his way into the finish. Thought it was pretty nice. Our boy Nilsson Palace gets the King of the Mountain jersey. Like I said, I think he's about 10 or so points over. And then tomorrow is, except for the stage coming into Paris, I think is the flattest stage. So they try to make it look lumpy, but it's not. It's a Cat 4 in there. I mean, that's 84 meters. It's of elevation. So that's nothing. Coming into Bordeaux, where Mark Cavendish has won before. So with that in mind, who is going to be winning tomorrow? And the predictions, I said Vingegaard would win today. He didn't, but he got second. So, I mean, that's pretty good analysis there, I still think. How about we do, let's go to the Pro Cycling Stats. So we've got one other thing here to the stream. And we'll look at a few news stories. So Palace, once again, 36 to 28 over Felix Gall. Felix actually wasn't all that bad on the overall today. So I think he's a much better climber than Palace. And Palace really has wasted a lot of time trying to get in the break yesterday. He's got to be much more specific, getting in the break early that he did on the first few stages. Nice that he's had the jersey, but I don't foresee, just kind of watching him today, I don't foresee him going much further than mid-weekend or so. Possibly Youth, we know that one. Arlo Carlos, you're moving up. Team Jumbo, they've had that for the whole time, I think. Vingegaard in the lead. There we go on the stage. So we saw tomorrow's, and let's take a look at who I think is going to be for the win tomorrow. Let's see what Brian's chiming in here. Appreciate you joining us tonight. So far, the most boring stage was the track race finish stage, but the last 3 kilometers was chaos. Such a great first week to watch. It was. I don't know how close you watched the Giro, which I watched and reported on every day. There was some serious boring stages in there. Remember, they went up over some big giant climbs and they neutralized themselves. They had quote unquote wind, so they didn't do it. But when you look at that whole thing, the way that finished, once again, this is a storybook, and some books are good, some are boring, some are great all throughout. This has been a great start to the book. This is a book that really gets you hooked on there. Very good. The one track racing one was boring to begin with. Because it was so slow, but it built up to such a great finish, and there was so much good to analyze just on that finish itself. And by the way, I think it was so chaotic because it was so slow that they weren't worn down. Everyone thought that they had a chance because they're all fresh. with that in mind, maybe they'll ride a little bit more hard tomorrow. And if they do, then you got a chance for Mads Pedersen. But you've really got to look at what has happened in the sprints. You got Bauhaus. He's been third and third. It looks good. Philipsen, first and first. He's been really good. Caleb Ewing has come up there. Both times he's been sprinting faster in the end. The one on the track, I think he was the fastest coming up to close to it. He had a good chance at that one. So he's obviously riding well. You've got Groenewegen, who hasn't shown himself at all. Jakobsen, I think, is too injured to make himself known. And then you got Cavendish. So with that in mind, and then a few other ones, you have Christoph. I don't think you're going to see him do much for more than the top 10. 6th place, I can see him doing that. Who else? I already said Bauhaus. Matthew van der Poel pulling off for Philipsen is the way to really go at this. So I think those are your top guys. And so you got, look, you're not going to count Cavendish out. He hasn't been bad. So I'm expecting him to get like a 3rd place with this one. Philipsen still looks like the guy to go for the win, but I think you're going to have to actually, you can't keep winning everything, can you? But once again, today you had Matthew van der Poel in the break, so maybe he's still too worn. So therefore you go with Caleb Ewing for the win, Mark Cavendish 2nd or 3rd, and Philipsen 3rd or 2nd, with a Phil Bauhaus coming in strong as well. Victor says, Tyler Young, I sent you emails about a package. I saw that. I was going to say thank you. I appreciate that. As soon as I get it, I'll display it out here, and appreciate that very much, Victor. Anybody else want to send stuff to me? Please do so. No bombs or anything, but oops. And then, so that's a Friday stage. Then we've talked about this before, but we'll do it one more time. Saturday, a little bit lumpier. Let's go with a Mads Pedersen on that one. And then Sunday, Puy de Dôme, and looking forward to that one. Okay, I want to do a few news stories here. We'll do them real quick, and then we'll be done. My son took our dog to the lake today, and she got all full of stickers and all kinds of stuff. Oops, I didn't want that. Easy there. Okay, let's just go to cycling news. I think that's the one I wanted. Okay. This one, I wanted to get the Pogačar. There we go. I played it smart today, said Tadej. I played it smart. Slovenian firmly in the hunt for yellow after distancing Vingegaard on the Cauterets. Just a day after seemingly being on the ropes, Tadej is suddenly back in the fight for victory in 2023 Tour de France. Jonas took the yellow jersey from Jai, but Pogačar's gutsy solo attack to win the Cauterets-Cambasque on stage 6 was clear warning that the Dane and his Jumbo-Visma team can expect a fight all the way to Paris. I was not dead yesterday. I still went quite good, of course. I'm super happy for today. I played it smart today. I think the shape is coming along every day. We must not give up, and we ride like this to the end. That's still going to be a big fight. I said that yesterday about Pogačar, which is you watched how he got dropped, and the time gaps to Vingegaard weren't great. But with that, he was having Sepp Kuss was on his wheel, caught it back up to him. He was blowing through other people, he being Tadej. But then he dropped everyone else. But then Sepp was having a hard time hanging on his wheel still. So with that in mind, I was like, he's not blowing up. He's just he's got a little bit of trouble. I got a pile of flat tubes. Why are you keeping those? That's the disturbing part. I'm actually just really happy to have just won the stage. This is wrong. I'm having trouble with this. So this is a writer that's doing this, and obviously they're transcribing it from what he said. Now, did Pogačar say won the stage ONE, or did he say won the stage WON? One of them means he won, he was victorious. Another one means he was won in the stage. It doesn't make sense, but that's what's written here. But I mean, was this Tadej tweeting this out? I don't know. It's something incredible to have a stage win at the Tour de France today. I was just happy as when I won 3 years ago. It's always special to win the Tour. It doesn't say if that's Pogačar. Pogačar said. So you guys, Cycling News, fix that thing. It's easy to forget that Pogačar is still only 24. Yeah. On the mighty Tourmalet, Pogačar was stronger and smarter. When Jumbo started pulling on the Tourmalet, I was thinking, okay, If it's the same as yesterday, then we can almost pack the bags and go home, Pogacar said. But I just kept telling myself I need to hold onto the wheel and not give up until the top. And then it could just be, would be me, Jonas, and Wout for the last climb. If I lost the wheel there, it could be a bit more problematic. I was happy that I had good legs on the Tourmalet. Pogacar's love for racing aggressively and often on instinct can be successful. Yeah, we know. I was thinking about attacking the last 4 kilometers, Pogacar said, of the natural instinct. But I got told on the radio to follow Jonas and race smart. But racing smart would be going even earlier. But I was suffering all the way to the finish line. I don't regret going at that moment. It was just enough. Maybe if I went earlier, maybe I would explode on the flat part or something. It was a good day. I tried to feel the race. You need to have balls to attack in the end. You can have plan A, B, C, D, E, F. Wow, what about G? Even the whole alphabet. Oh, there you go. He has it there. You can have plans, and anything can happen. Racing is really difficult. Yesterday was also had a plan, but we totally missed it. Yeah, what was your plan yesterday? Today, Jumbo didn't miss the plan, but they tried it, and they didn't succeed because in cycling, it's so difficult to follow the tactics. There's so many circumstances you need to think about, and it's difficult to predict if it's going to work or not. That's cycling. So look, I had to read it because we can't play it because I get struck out on YouTube. So there we go. Last bit, Jai Hindley. It was pretty grim to lose the yellow jersey. What did he say here? What can I say? It was an epic day, rolling around in the yellow jersey, doing some mythical climbs. And to be honest, I got my ass handed to me, but I really enjoyed it. All right, there we go, everybody. So with that in mind, we got, like I said, tomorrow. I'm picking Cadel Evans, but I feel like Philipsen might be the person to just keep until Philipsen can be beat. I mean, you shouldn't be going against him. And reason why, it's almost disgusting to talk about, but everyone else's lead outs are just shit. Almost everybody. If you're a good sprinter, you've got a shitty lead out. If you're a medium tier sprinter, you've got a better lead out. And if you are Philipsen, you've got the best lead out. So Philipsen to win, unless they screw it up. I mean, he's got the most strength. He's got the best lead out. And what I mean by Matthew Van der Poel. Other than that, like I said, if it's just come down to some other riders and some other factors, you're going to have Cavendish and you're going to have Caleb Ewan in the mix. Thanks for live streaming. Caleb, not Cadel Evans. Did I say Cadel Evans? I do have trouble with that one. Caleb Ewing, not Cadel. If Cadel's up there in the sprint, I'm going home. I think that's what it is. Take care.